them, carry down to 2, and gosh, this has been forever since I've done that. Add a 0, how many times does 4 go into 20? 4 goes into 25 times. 0.75. So this is actually 4.75. But again, with a calculator, guys, you can just type it in like this. This is why I'm saying just get a calculator. 19 divided by 4, 4.75. It's nice and simple. But if you don't have a calculator, you might want to convert, doing old school division like this. Or maybe you're just very good with fractions and you realize that that is 4 and then 3/4 is 0.75. Either way, you're comparing 4.75, 4 and 5/10. 5/10, hopefully you guys can see that as 1/2, so that's 4 and a half, 4.5. 4 and 3/5 is the same thing as 4, and if you realize each fifth is 0.2, so you have 3 times 0.2, so that's 4.6. Okay, and that's just using my knowledge of fractions. And if you wanted to order this from greatest to least, then you'd actually have to, switch these two pretty much. So it'd be 4.75, 4.6, and then the 4.5. Okay? But those are just two different examples of converting between types of fractions, just to understand those fractions a little bit more. Okay? But this, again, it's going to take a little bit of thought. Last one, working with irrational numbers. I really wanted to kind of address, well, so pretty much if they give you pi specifically, I'm not going to work with irrational numbers. Let's just talk about specifically pi. So 3 pi. So when you're working with pi, most of you already know pi is approximately 3.14. Okay, so 3 pi is the same thing as 3 times 3.14, and if you're going to estimate that, that's just 3 times 3, which is 9. And if you want to get super exact, you can even say 9.42. But 3 times 3, as far as ordering numbers, that's typically accurate enough. Okay, so just when you're thinking about pi, think 3.14, and everything else is easy. So if I do something like 11 pi over 5, that's the same thing as 11 times 3.14 over 5. Okay? So 11 times 3.14, well, I'm just going to say, I'm just going to estimate that this is right about 33, say 35. Here's my estimation again. So 11 times 3 I know is 33. And then I'm going to say 11 times 0.14 is just over 1. So it should be closer to 34, but I'm doing 35 just to get a good estimate. So 35 divided by 5 is 7. Okay, now this is all estimation, but I know it's going to be right around 7. Let's find out exactly what it is. 11, again, get a calculator. Second pi, 11 pi, that's 34.55 divided by 5. So it's 6.911. Alright? Guys, just be patient with this. It takes some time, but it's not, again, it is not difficult. It can be time consuming. If you have a calculator, it'll go very fast and it'll be very easy. So let me go ahead and let's see, maybe I will work a few of these. See, the thing is we did a lot of these in class, and when I say these, I mean these. Let me just do these with a calculator, why not? Should be easy enough. Alright, so which point is on the number line is closest to the square root of 300? Well, with a calculator, this is so easy, square root of 300. So again, I'm just promoting you guys getting a calculator. So it's 17.32, so which one of these is closest to 17.32? It's A. Alright? Without a calculator, the way you do it is think, okay, well this is, 10 is the same thing as the square root of 100. 20 is the same thing as the square root of 400. So the square root of 300 is somewhere between the square root of 100 and the square root of 400. So it's somewhere between 10 and 20. And A is the only thing that could possibly be. right here, which of these numbers lies between 4 and 4.5 on the number line? Well, if I think about 13, it can't be 13 because the square root of 16 is 4. That means the square root of 13 is less than 4. So it's definitely not this, because it's got to be between 4. It's got to be bigger than 4, less than 4.5. It's not going to be the square root of 28 because the square root of 28 is 5, or square root of 25, sorry. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 28 is bigger than the square root of 25. So the square root of 28 is bigger than 5. Okay, so it's definitely not that one. So let's think about square root of 17. Let's think about square root of 22, actually. Let's do it that way, and I'll end it with that, because square root of 22 is also wrong. So think about it this way. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 25 is 5. So where does the square root of 22 fall? Probably over here, square root of 22. Square root of 22 is a lot closer to 25 than it is to 16, which means if this is your 4.5 line right here, so you have 4, halfway is 4.5, and 5 over here, square root of 22 is bigger than 4.5. All right? So this is not going to fall between 4 and 4.5. Square root of 22 is bigger than 4.5. Okay? And just out of curiosity, let's see what it is. Square root of 22. 4.69. Okay? So it leaves you with 17. All right? As your correct answer. Let's do this one with a calculator, just to show how easy it is. Is pi equal to 22 over 7? Well, what's 22 over 7? 22 over 7 is 3.1428. Let's see what pi is. Pi is 3.1415. So, no, they're not equal. Is pi less than 3.14? No, it's actually a little bit greater than, because pi is 3.1415. 92, and it keeps going. So it's actually a little bit greater than. Pi is not less than 3.14. Remember, you always read left to right. Pi is not less than 3.14. So it's not that one. Is the square root of 12 less than 3.5? Well, let's find out. Square root of 12. What's the square root of 12? 3.46. Yeah, the square root of 12 is less than 3.5. So it's that. So again, guys, I'm just promoting get yourself a calculator, and this whole section will become very, very easy, and you should get 100 on the quiz. I'll probably give you a quiz on Tuesday over this, the end of Tuesday. All right, which inequality is true when the square, the empty square, is replaced with greater than or equal to? So if I take all these squares and put greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to inside of it, which of them are true? So, starting with this one, negative 11 over 2, well, that's negative 5.5. So is negative 5.3 greater than or equal to negative 5.5? Yeah, that's true. Okay, so that's a bigger negative number. It's even further to the left than that is on a number line. Okay, so that means that this is more negative than that. So this is a bigger number. That can get confusing. So is negative 5.3, or I'm sorry, is negative 3.5, see that little bar above it? That means continued. That means it just, so it's the same thing as saying this. Negative 3.55555, and they go on forever. So is negative 3.5 continued greater than negative 3.5, period? Yeah. Oh. See, I almost got confused with the negatives. No. So let me explain it real quick, because I almost confused myself, so I don't want you guys to also be confused. Number line. Let's say this is 0. This is negative 3.5. If that's negative 3.5, negative 3.55555 is just to the left of this. It's even further left. It's even further negative. Okay, it's just to the left of negative 3.5, so it's even further negative, which means it's not greater than, it's more negative. Square root of 10, is that greater than 4? No, not a chance. Square root of 10 is actually just bigger than 3. Is it greater than 4.5? 4? No. Square root of 19. Is that bigger than 2 pi? Well, think about this. Pi is a little bit more than 3, so 2 times 3 is 6. Is the square root of 19 greater than or equal to 6? No. The square root of 19 is just bigger than 4, actually. Remember, square root of 16. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 19 is probably 4.3-ish. So no, it's not bigger than 6. So it's A. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I don't want it to be too long. It's already pretty long. If you need any help, feel free to come into tutoring at any time. Just make sure you ask me. Watch this video for multiple times so you can understand what I'm talking about. And get a calculator, and that's going to go a long way. See you in class.